What was the reason I didn't get hired?
The thumbnail for this one is going to look like a team meeting at the Hot Topic. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. All right, you guys, so this is a little more craziness from TikTok, but this time we're going to talk about a person that I feel like maybe I have something in common with, and maybe I can give a little advice to, just kind of freak show to freak show, you know? Because every once in a while, I think people forget there are sometimes choices that we make in the way that we choose to present ourselves, and whether we feel like it's right or wrong, some people are going to judge us for some of that. So anyway, this young lady Ash, who is a very nice looking young lady in my opinion, maybe a little on the extreme side, but who am I to say, you guys? Let's consider the source. But at the same time, Ash went to apply for a job at TJ Maxx. She didn't like what she heard, or more importantly, didn't like what she didn't hear. I'm not sure what's going on with Ash, but we're gonna check it out and we'll get to the bottom of it together. TJ Maxx. Does anybody else remember those commercials? Anyway, comment below if you remember that. While we're at it, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to comment, but you don't know what to comment, just put a needle, because we're gonna be talking about tattoos right now and that whole situation.
So I wanted to come on here and talk about something that is really starting to annoy me. So I applied for a job at TJ Maxx a few weeks ago and they denied my application. They couldn't even call me. They just sent me some automated email. So I went in today and
I don't mean to interrupt already, but you weren't in a relationship with TJ Maxx. Back in my day, which I don't mean to make myself sound too old here.
It's been 84 years.
But no answer was an answer. They didn't send you a form letter at that point, or when I was doing these kinds of jobs, that was well before email was even a thing.
The Pony Express.
And I don't remember people calling to say, hey, you didn't get the job. It was just sort of like, you never heard back. I gotta be honest, I was really good at getting jobs, but I didn't look like this back then.
The reflection has changed a bit.
So I was hitting every job. I used to ask to speak to the manager so that they would hire me, was the way that it would work. I'd be like, is there somebody I can drop this off with? They'd be like, actually, the manager's over here. And then I'd sweet talk the manager a little bit, and then I'd end up getting the job. But this isn't about me, you guys.
I was like, so what was the reason I didn't get hired? And she was like, oh, like, you just, like, don't have enough experience. There was candidates that had, like, more experience than you. And, you know, I asked her if it was about my tattoos, obviously, because I know a lot of places don't like tattoos.
Maybe it's not about the fact that you have tattoos, but it's the tattoos you have, because you have at least 2 satanic tattoos that I can see. And I'm not saying that people should be able to discriminate against you based on your religion, if that is your religion. But if that's going to look scary to maybe kids that would go there, or say your average Karen, I did research. Like I said, I saw she lives in Oceanside, California, which is basically San Diego, and they tend to be kind of hoity-toity in that area. So I could see somebody walking in and being like, what's that all about? And I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying the manager might not want to deal with it, and then that could become your problem in the way that you don't get hired. Who knows? Maybe they looked at your tattoos and saw the symbolism and were like, okay, this chick is constantly going to be asking to get off work early because it's the full moon and she's got to charge her crystals, or she's got to go kill a cat, or who knows what she's got to do, but she probably isn't going to be the best TJ Maxx employee. Again, should they be worried about that? Probably not, but if they are, they are, and there's nothing you can do about it. While it may be illegal to admit these things, it's not illegal to think anything in your mind. We cannot hold people responsible for what's in their minds, because unless they really screw up, you don't even know that that's what's going on in their mind.
She said that wasn't the reason. I don't feel like that's true, but...
Look, honey, you're welcome to feel however you feel about it, but the fact of the matter is, no means no. They said you didn't get the job, you didn't get the job. Who cares why you didn't get the job? Okay, maybe you want to know so you can correct it for the next one, but look at your application and think about what it is you said. I checked out this girl's social media, and I don't know if TJ Maxx is the kind of place that asks about social media, but if they did ask about her social media as far as TikTok goes, is pretty wholesome. But if you click on her Instagram, she's very open about the fact that she's an OF model. And the second picture is her topless but covering, which I'm not trying to be a prude about. I'm not trying to slut shame, body shame, whatever shame that would be. I'm not trying to be that. But I'm just saying, if you're trying to work at TJ Maxx, I think they try to keep it kind of wholesome there. I could be wrong, but my point is, you can't try to work for TJ Maxx and on the second picture in your Instagram have your titties out. But not only does she have an OF, she also does Uber Eats. So maybe she blocked out the busy schedules for her Uber Eats time, because I'm sure she's noticed a peak time. And if you're not going to work out time-wise, that doesn't make the tattoos matter or anything else. At that point, it's just like, well, if you can't work when we need you to work, then we're not going to hire you. So
whatever, I'll leave it at that. So I'm just wondering how, like, teenagers and young adults who haven't had a job before, how are they supposed to get employed if these places are only hiring people with experience? So
let me help you. That's not your concern. You are not a teenager. This is not your first job. And another thing, I happened to check out her profile today when she was doing a live. So I clicked on the live and I was listening to her talk, and then somebody left a comment that she had gone to the same high school as her, which I think was in that same area. And she said yes. And on it, she talked about the fact that one time when she was in school, she got in a fight with this girl and ended up blacking out and hitting the girl 14 times. And if you're dealing with local people, maybe the manager recognized you from that and was like, I went to high school with that chick and she won't come in here whooping my ass like that when I don't give her Halloween night off. And I also saw another video where she was trying to explain the satanic tattoos. And I have a couple satanic tattoos and I can explain why I had them. And technically I made a video where I have. I'll put a link to it up here. But people that feel like because you're wearing a satanic tattoo that means that you must be a Satanist, you're not going to win with those people. I can tell anybody that wants to know on this video, I am Catholic. That is what I am. I was baptized that way. I've never renounced my Catholicism, even though I don't agree with a lot of the things the Catholic Church has done. Obviously, I think most Catholics feel that way, but it's not something that I'm going to belabor with anybody. So this person here having the satanic tattoos, that is definitely a choice. Also, if you notice, she has the tattoos on her face. She has the tattoos across her forehead. Again, I'm not judging, but I guess what I'm really trying to get at is I thought when people like us got tattooed like this, that was us saying we didn't want to work jobs like TJ Maxx anymore. That was us saying we wanted to take the road less traveled. And maybe I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's a generational thing. I saw that she's 23 on one of her videos, and I didn't start getting tattooed on my face until I was well over 23. And the tattoo artist or tattooers, however you want to say it, that I dealt with were very clear with me, especially when I started getting hands and face, that this is going to change your life. One thing I wish that somebody had warned me about was it was going to change the way the police would deal with you even on a routine traffic stop, which wasn't something I had thought about. But also, to get back to her point when she's talking about the teenagers, maybe some fresh-faced teenager came in looking for the same job you were looking for, and they were like, okay, we can either go with this chick that looks like she just did a stretch at the state pen, or we can go with this 16-year-old girl that looks very TJ Maxx friendly. And then they went with the teenage girl. So maybe you provided the opportunity that you're claiming that you think is a problem. And like I said, I think she's a nice looking girl. I don't think there's anything wrong with her tattoos. I don't think there's anything wrong with the amount of tattoos that she has. But that's me personally. So would I hire her? Yes. But you know who else would hire her? I joked about Hot Topic. If that's still a thing, they'll hire her. Spencer's, I don't know if that's still open, but they'll hire her. Definitely there would be room for her at a tattoo shop if she found the right one and wanted to be the desk girl there. Also, a lot of piercing shops would love to have a person like her. So for me, this so far is a case of go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. This is a non-issue, but I'm gonna let you finish, Ash.
younger people just can't get a job because they haven't worked enough. So like they'll deny a 16-year-old a job because they don't have enough work experience. Like, it just doesn't.
No, what they'll probably do with the 16-year-old is put them in a job that they know somebody like you wouldn't want to do. Like, I remember when I was like 16, I think was when I started working, like right at 16, I think I was. And they would put you in the kitchen of McDonald's, if you want to call that a kitchen. They would have you mopping, they would have you sweeping, they would have you doing stuff like that. Then I moved to working for a grocery store, and they had me be a bag boy. I wanted to be a cashier. You had to wait until you were like, I think it was 19, because you had to sell alcohol. So that's what they would do, is give you these jobs that you probably wouldn't want if you were already a grown adult.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I do okay with money as is, so I didn't like need the job, but I would have
Well, there you go right there, Mary. Why are you complaining about a job that you didn't need?
liked it to have made some extra money so I could pay off my debt quicker.
Now, here's where I'm going to stop her, because I saw on her Instagram that she said she was in the top 2.5% of OF creators. To me, that seems like it should make you pretty decent money. And yeah, she has a lot of tattoo work, and she says she has a Dodge Challenger that she's paying $500 a month for. She's also got a husband, but he's a Marine. He's got some kind of allowance for their housing. So there's that. Maybe you're not as good with money as you think. Maybe you make decent money, but you're not good with money. When you say you're good with money, are you good at managing your money? Might be the question, Ash. But we're not here to get into your finances. We're still talking about TJ Maxx, right?
I want you guys to talk about in the comments what it's been like for you finding a job recently.
I'm coming to you from the future. I can already tell you they're not going to talk about that. She recorded this a couple days ago. She knows that that's not what they talked about. In a perfect world, this is the conversation she wanted to start. That's the thing. There's the conversation you want to have, and then there's the conversation that the internet is gonna have. And like I always say, you can choose to live in your own world if you want to, but you ain't going to be able to get everybody to join.
Like if it's been easy or if it's been difficult, and I want to know like what kind of experience you guys have, because I want to see if I'm the only person that's like experiencing this right now or not. And you know, I hate that my tattoos are such a defining factor for me getting a job or not. Like, just because I have tattoos doesn't mean I'm not gonna be a good worker. Like,
See, again, this is where you lose me, Ash, because I thought we knew that when we did these things to ourselves, that people were going to pass judgment on us. I don't know where this I had no idea comes from. This is the benefit and the drawback to being a freak show. Some people are really gonna love it, and some people really aren't. So, while I might complain because the police aren't always treating me the way that they should be treating me, which is a completely different issue and something I think we as tattoo people need to address at some point, but I may not like that part of it. But I may like the fact that every gangbanger in the city is automatically friendly with me because they assume that we both did time. So it's a double-edged sword, and sometimes it works in your favor and sometimes it doesn't work in your favor.
I do not understand that at all. Because quite literally some of the most smart, intelligent people I've ever met are people with tattoos and piercings. I could be wrong, but I've seen...
Depends on what you're discussing. If we're talking about conspiracy theories, vegan issues, strains of the devil's lettuce, that's what I've noticed the smartest tattoo and piercing people are talking about. But maybe you have access to a different bunch. And I'm not saying that tattoo and piercing people aren't smart. I consider myself to be very intelligent, but some of the smart... Let me stop interrupting, Ash.
That like in Europe, like people with tattoos and piercings can get jobs like way easier there.
Sounds like a utopia. I think we found our solution. You just need to get to Europe. Start planning, making arrangements, see if maybe your husband can get stationed over there for a little while. Who knows? The world is your oyster, Ash, and you already told us you're good with money, so you're ready for the move. You just wanted to work at TJ Maxx for the love of the game. Forget about that hobby. You'll find other stuff to do in Europe.
So why is America not hopped on the bandwagon?
You hearing this, Lindy? Apparently, this is an America problem.
Another thing too is like all these places, they say that they're hiring, but I feel like they're not. Because I shop at all of these stores and I see hiring now signs, but those signs have been up for months. And I know plenty of people are looking for work.
That's because everybody that's coming in to apply looks like you, Ash. Every single tattooed person is going to every store that you shop at and applying. And that's what the problem is. And I don't know where all this came from, because when I was younger, I got to tell you guys, again, not to take it back too far, this was a long time ago. We weren't even allowed to have our hair dyed at the grocery store job, which was like probably my longest teenage job. I was there for over a year. And you could not even have your hair dyed. You couldn't have any piercings at all. And tattoos could not be visible in any way. Like I said, this was a long time ago, so things might have changed quite a bit. I know there's a generational thing going on. And also, to get back to her point again, in those jobs, even in the best circumstances, a lot of the jobs you're talking about are high turnover jobs. So there will be a fair amount of people that go, work for a little while, and then decide they're going to hit it, which might have been something you put on your application. They might have asked if you were looking for something short-term, long-term, seasonal, and you said that you were looking for something short-term, and they were like, okay, we want somebody that's actually going to make a career out of this one. Or you might have said that you were looking for something long-term, and they're like, we just need somebody for a little while. We're not going to be a good fit for her. It may not be as personal as you're making it. It may just be a matter of you didn't fit other criteria. It might not have anything to do with the tattoos. The world will never know.
So how have they still not hired people? Sorry for the long ranting video, but I just feel
I'll take this time to apologize as well, because I went on a rant myself. I guess me and Ash have more in common than I realized.
We're not so different, you and me.
like this is something that needs to be talked about. It's so annoying. And for anyone that is looking for a job right now that is younger and doesn't have experience, I truly wish you the best of luck, because it is very hard out here right now.
Well, from what you told us, you only applied at TJ Maxx. So one job doesn't want to hire you, and now it's very hard out here for people to get jobs. So this tells me that you're either lying about this being the one job that you've applied for, and this has happened several times, or you were just looking for content, which I think you were just looking for content. To be 100% honest with you, I have a best friend that's been trying to get some work, and she has a degree. I don't remember if she's got a bachelor's or a master's. I know there's quite a bit of difference in schooling between both of those, but either way, she is overqualified for every job that she applies for. And she's been on Indeed. She's been trying her best, but they just keep telling her that she either has too much education or too much experience. So this is the frustration of trying to work in this particular economy. And I don't know why it is either. I think it is good for us to have a conversation about it, but I don't think we should always just fall to personal appearance. And I think, like I've been saying throughout this video, I can't impress it enough. This is more of a cautionary tale for people that are thinking about getting tattooed like Ash is, or tattooed like I am. If you want to keep it all above the sleeve so that you can wear long sleeves, or if you want your options to be even more open, maybe upper arms and whatever is covered by your clothing, legs would be fine. And I'm not being silly right now. I'm just saying, if you don't want this to limit you, you don't get tattooed like me and Ash are, and then wonder why life isn't giving you exactly what you want. I personally think that people should hold off on tattoos until they really know what it is they want. I got a tattoo, my first one, when I was 16 years old, I think I was, and I went to an actual tattoo shop and I had to have my parents sign off on it, but my parents were cool with it. I'm from Arizona, we're trash. But anyway, luckily it's a tattoo in a place that I don't actually have to look at it, so I don't mind that it's there. But when I think about it, sometimes I'm like, yeah, that was kind of a dumb tattoo to get, because when you're at those ages, you don't even really think about the tattoo beforehand. Like, I really just knew basically what I wanted, but I had no picture in my head. I picked it from Flash Art, which is the art on the wall. And like I said, I'm just lucky that it's not anywhere where I have to see it or anybody has to see it on the regular. It's not a bad tattoo. It definitely needs to be retouched because it's been a long time. But yeah, so I like this one, Ash. I gotta say, I know the internet has been handing your ass to you, and I feel bad for you on that. I think that people have been unnecessarily mean in some of the things that they've said to you, but you kind of opened the conversation up, and I'm not trying to say you deserved it in like a malicious way or anything like that, but you seem to have a pretty big following on TikTok. Like, you have a pretty successful Hello Kitty reselling business, I think is what you do on TikTok. And because of your striking appearance, you seem to have quite a following, 99.1 thousand followers. So it seems like you're doing well, and you probably know how social media works when you were building up to this. So I don't really know where the surprise is. But yeah, I'm going to file this one under it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.